How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Big Blue here. This is the first rocket launcher build I've done since I've played Moze. Haven't done any rocket launcher builds yet. This is the first one. Using the Plague Bearer, of course. Plague Bearer is the strongest rocket launcher in the game, according to most sources, so that's the one I went with. I'm also going to be using a version M shield for that amp damage with the bloodletter, and constantly throwing those cloning maddening trackers at level 1. I'm going to be able to refill my shield constantly so I can constantly do that amp damage. It increases your damage by 120% every time you do an amp shot, and as long as you're throwing grenades constantly, you will get that extra amp damage. Another way you're going to get that amp damage is from Flaylink's Doctrine. So after you have maximum stacks on Flaylink's Doctrine and those stacks do drop down, it's going to automatically give you that amp damage because your shield has dropped and has went back full. So you will not lose those amp shots. And as you can see from my shields, as long as you're throwing grenades, your shields will go up to maximum every time. That way you're able to do the maximum amount of damage possible. This does work with a corrosive Plague Bearer, a fire, or shock. If I could have got a radiation one, it would have probably increased the damage by another 20 to 30%, but I couldn't get one, so we went with this. If you do have one, I would highly suggest throwing it in this build because it will give you even more damage. Not that you're going to need that damage, because as you can see, I'm running through everything with no problem. But if you have one, equip it. It's going to help you. And just so you know, it's not just something that works on bosses. I am going to show you some footage of me just mobbing with this also. This is the same takedown. I am using the fire version now instead of that corrosive version you seen me using a second ago. And you literally just shoot it in the air, and all the homing rockets that come off of that Plague Bearer are going to kill everything in sight. The Plague Bearer is the only weapon that I am using for this build. I'm not using any other gun. I'm not using anything special, just that Plague Bearer. I've seen a lot of different builds that do have rocket launchers as their boss killers, but this one works for mobs and for bossing, so you don't have to worry about switching between weapons and trying to maintain everything. Makes it a lot easier for you, and the damage is so nice that you don't need to switch. So the 0M shield. I never was really a fan of that shield because it's not like the B from Borderlands 2. The B amped every single shot that you did in Borderlands 2. We don't have a shield like that in Borderlands 3, but with this build, it's the closest thing you're going to get to that B shield from Borderlands 2. I was sleeping on the 0M shield, to be honest with you. The only reason I decided to use the 0M shield is because someone from my Facebook page, I will have a link in the description for my Facebook page if you'd like to join that. We talk about different things Borderlands related and some stuff not Borderlands related if you want to go ahead and join that. But they told me that I should try it, and I tried it. Turns out it was amazing. I'm really happy they suggested it to me, and if you have any other suggestions for any weapons, shields, or anything else that I could use, or if you have build suggestions, you can leave those in the Discord. The link will be in the description also. I'm always trying to learn new things and use new things to incorporate them into bigger and better builds. If you are liking this video, please leave me a like on the video so I know that you are liking this content. And if you have any suggestions or anything I could change, leave it in the comments so I can work on that. After we do this Wotan kill, I will be going over the build so you can see exactly what I used and how it all synergized so well together. And as you just seen, one shot and I took down the lower half of Wotan, and one more and I took down the top half. So let's go over the build. Alright everybody, let's go over the build real fast. So as you've seen, I'm using Plague Bearers. I have a shock one, a corrosive one, and a fire one here. I'm using these with that 50-150 rat anointment because I am using a bloodletter, and I'm using a elemental projector deathless. The reason that the elemental projector deathless works, you could use any other kind of deathless that you wanted to use. Honestly, if I could have got a radiation Plague Bearer, this build probably would have did more damage if I could have got like a what is it called, a auto idol or a atom bomb deathless. Those would have increased the damage significantly. Not that I need it, honestly, you just seen it. But the reason that I have elemental projector deathless is because if you get the floor is lava and you're using this stuff plague bearer, if you're using this one here with the fire, it is going to do so much more damage. I think the smallest hit I've seen from any of these three was 19 million. So the damage is crazy on this build. The shield I'm using is going to be the Super Giant version M. You do not need the Super Giant variant. You just need a version M0.M. And the reason that this shield works so well is because I'm using a bloodletter, so it's charging my shields instead of my health. This shield gives me that amp damage, and I have action skill start. It breaks it, so if I go in Iron Bear and get out, I can increase the damage even more. But most of the time, all of the time, you don't need that, honestly. But it does help if you're in a sticky situation or you're fighting somebody like the Psycho Reaver, because he has a lot of health. Get that extra 100% increased damage here, and use the floor is lava. You can get him to half health in one shot. Cloning maddening tracker, I'm using a level 1 one. Only reason I'm using this level 1 is so I can recharge my shields, so I can always be trying to get that amp damage. Sometimes I do forget to actually throw my grenades, so I'm not getting full amp damage the whole time. But if you're throwing your grenades constantly, it'll keep you alive and it'll give you considerably more damage. In the skill tree, Fire Niskagnian 5, 3 in means of destruction, 5 in torque cross promotion, stainless steel bear for that 20% damage. I have pulled the holy pin for that extra crit damage, vampire for that life steal. Again, this applies to my shields, not to me because of that bloodletter. And short fuse. Short fuse is going to give me that extra damage. Shield of retribution tree. So I have selfless vengeance in this build, only for that bonus incinerate damage when I reload, and I'm using a plague bearer, so I'm going to have to reload. There's no way around it. So I thought I would try to maximize the damage as much as possible. Also armored infantry just for that gun damage and damage reduction. I have 2 points into thin red line, just to give me some more shields. Not that you need it, but it definitely helps. Drowning in brass for more damage, and you pretty much one-shot everything, so your damage is gonna increase really fast. Experimental munitions for bonus incinerary. Desperate measures. So this is gonna give me a big damage boost because I'm using that bloodletter and I'm using thin red line. It's gonna give me a great damage boost. I do have 2 extra points for my class mod also. Behind the Iron Curtain, just so my shield recharge rate is faster, because when I throw those grenades, I want my shield to go up so I can get as much amp damage as possible. Phalanx Doctrine, just to keep my damage stacking. I think the most stacks I've seen on this was 7. Get pretty good damage at that point. I had 200k shields, so pretty good. Tenacious Defense, in case my shields do break. So leave it in the comments, guys, if you know. I have 1 health, so I'm not sure. I guess I'll show you. I have 1 health, so I think that I can't actually activate that because I don't have the health gate. Let me know in the comments. I'm not sure about that because you could change that around. Last but not least, bottomless mags. Cloud of lead, just for that incinerate damage. Stoke the embers for incinerate damage. Redistribution, it does sometimes give me my ammo back so I can just keep firing. Not always, but sometimes it does. And the modifiers that I am using, they're not anything that's going to help me, honestly. Maybe not in the face, but there's way better modifiers I could have used, you know. That is the build, guys. Do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the Blue Crew. If you did like this video, leave a like. That's all I got for you guys today. Blue Crew, as always, stay medicated, stay elevated. To the next video, guys. Peace.